Have you observed a growing distance between you and your adult children recently? Have you noticed that your phone calls are becoming shorter and your visits are happening less often? Have you ever considered that the issue could lie in the specific words you choose when communicating with them? Today, I want to share with you 5 harmful phrases that elderly parents should avoid saying to their adult children. It's important to understand that the second phrase can be incredibly harmful, potentially leading to a permanent rift in your relationship. I've spent years guiding families through communication challenges. Along the way, I've seen how some seemingly harmless phrases can quietly erode trust. By the end of this video, you'll gain a clear understanding of the harmful phrases to remove from your speech and discover alternative expressions that can help mend and strengthen your cherished family connections before the opportunity slips away. Allow me to share the story of Marilyn, a 72-year-old widow from Cleveland who found herself grappling with the heartache of her 3 adult children growing more distant over the years, leaving her puzzled and longing for connection. Even with her sincere efforts, family gatherings had turned into uncomfortable experiences, phone conversations felt rushed, and her invitations often went unanswered. Marilyn felt a deep sense of sorrow, as if the children she had devoted her life to nurturing had turned away from her, leaving her with a profound sense of loss. It was during a family counseling session with her youngest daughter that Marilyn experienced a profound moment of realization. The therapist gently highlighted certain phrases that Marilyn often used, which were unintentionally creating distance between her and her children. Marilyn felt a wave of disbelief wash over her. She was unaware that her words were inflicting such harm. She did not intend these as insults or clear criticisms. Older parents frequently use these phrases, often unaware of their potential impact. After Marilyn recognized and removed these harmful phrases from her discussions, the change in her family dynamics was truly astonishing. In a matter of 3 months, her children started reaching out more frequently, visits became a regular occurrence, and the long-standing tension that had marked their interactions began to fade away. Today, I want to share with you the specific phrases that almost shattered Marilyn's bond with her children, the very words that could be quietly undermining the connections within your family at this moment. Let's explore these relationship challenges together and discover more constructive ways to communicate. Harmful. Phrase 1. Have you considered all the efforts I've made for you? Have you ever felt overlooked by your adult children, which prompted you to express this sentiment? I recognize how easy it can be to fall into this pattern, yet experts in relationship psychology caution that this particular expression can be one of the most harmful ways parents may unintentionally manipulate. Dr. Rebecca Martinez, a prominent family therapist at Northwestern University, shares that this phrase can foster a transactional perspective in your relationship with your children. When parents express, "After everything I've done for you," they are in essence maintaining a tally of their sacrifices, she explains. Such behavior turns the natural love and support from parents into an unpayable debt for children, fostering feelings of resentment instead of appreciation. Consider Raymond, a 76-year-old retired accountant living in Phoenix. He felt a deep sense of confusion and concern as he noticed that his son seldom picked up the phone when he called. At a rare dinner together, Raymond expressed his feelings about having funded his son's college education, saying, "After all I've done for you, it would mean a lot if you could call me once a week." His son finally opened up, sharing that these guilt trips had been creating distance between them for years. Raymond felt a deep sense of sorrow upon realizing that his efforts to maintain a connection were unintentionally pushing his son further away. With the support of a family counselor, Raymond discovered how to openly share his true feelings and needs. Instead of invoking guilt, consider expressing, "I truly miss the sound of your voice. I would really appreciate the opportunity for us to connect more often. How does a Sunday call fit into your schedule? I want to make sure it's convenient for you." This approach expresses your wishes in a way that respects your children's feelings, ensuring they don't feel pressured or controlled. It's important to recognize that the journey of parenting is a personal choice, one that doesn't come with expectations of returns. Your kids don't owe you for your love and support while they were growing up. Eliminating this phrase from your vocabulary can foster a more positive and respectful dynamic, allowing for genuine connections rather than feelings of obligation. Harmful expression 2. It seems like your partner may be influencing your feelings toward me. Such statements can cause children to distance themselves from their parents for extended periods. Experts in family relationships consistently recognize this accusation as detrimental to the bonds we cherish. By implying that your child's spouse is manipulating them against you, you are criticizing their partner and undermining your child's ability to make their own choices and trust their judgment. Dr. James Wilson, director of the Family Systems Institute, highlights that this situation compels adult children to make an agonizing choice between their loyalty to a parent and their commitment to a spouse, leading to immense emotional turmoil. Consistently imposing this decision can profoundly harm or even sever the bond between parent and child. Denise, a 68-year-old grandmother from Seattle, discovered this truth through her own challenging experiences. She often suggested that her son's wife was the reason he wasn't able to visit. Comments such as, "I bet Sarah doesn't want you spending time with me," or "You never acted this way before you got married," appeared to Denise as if they were innocuous. Unbeknownst to her, her son was confiding these remarks to his wife, which was fostering significant strain in their relationship. At a family gathering, the atmosphere became tense when Denise openly accused her daughter-in-law of taking her son away from her. That evening, her son reached out with a text message, sharing that they felt it was necessary to take a step back from the relationship. The duration of that break was 18 months. Denise experienced the heartache of missing holidays, birthdays, and the precious moment of welcoming her first grandchild into the world. Healing could only commence after professional counseling and a heartfelt apology were extended to both her son and daughter-in-law. Now Denise actively chooses to nurture their marriage, focusing on building it up instead of tearing it down. Instead of blaming your child's partner, consider saying, "I hold both of you in high regard. I am on a journey to discover the most effective ways to offer my support to your family. How might we explore additional ways to connect that would be beneficial for all involved?" This approach honors their partnership and recognizes the importance of your child's adult relationship as it rightfully deserves. In my area, we took a different approach to handling matters. This seemingly innocent, nostalgic comment may seem harmless at first, but it can unintentionally hurt your relationship with your adult children in profound ways. Communication experts highlight that this phrase creates a divisive atmosphere between generations, implying that contemporary approaches lack the value of those from the past. Healthcare professional Sophia Chen, a professor of intergenerational studies at Boston University, observes that when elderly parents often discuss their day, they may be unintentionally fostering a sense of separation. This phrase frames them as critics instead of supporters, especially in conversations about parenting, careers, or lifestyle choices. Imagine Howard, a 74-year-old grandfather living in Nashville. He found it puzzling that his daughter would react defensively whenever he tried to share his thoughts on childcare. He often prefaced his suggestions with, "In my day, we didn't have all these complex safety regulations. In my time, children held a deep respect for their parents." Despite Howard's best intentions, his method left his daughter feeling criticized and diminished in her role as a parent. Once his daughter shared the emotional impact of those comments, Howard began to see things differently and adjusted his approach. He started to inquire about contemporary parenting methods rather than passing judgment on them. He showed a heartfelt interest in understanding the reasons behind the changes in certain practices. As the tension between them eased, his daughter began to open up, showing a willingness to embrace some of his cherished traditional wisdom from time to time. Instead of focusing on the differences between generations, consider expressing, "I'm eager to learn about your perspective on this. Would it be beneficial for you to learn about what helped me during my upbringing?" This formulation presents your experience as a valuable choice rather than suggesting it is the only superior option. Keep in mind that fostering a sense of connection is far more important than simply pointing out mistakes. By honoring your adult children's choices, you create an environment where they are more inclined to appreciate your viewpoint and willingly seek your guidance. Relationship counselors warn that these firm declarations can be harmful to a relationship's health, even though they might strike a chord when one is feeling lonely. Employing terms such as never or always can skew perceptions and quickly place your children in a position of defensiveness. Dr. Michael Ramirez, a family psychologist and author of Healing Family Relationships, highlights how absolute statements such as "you never visit" can trap adult children in a no-win scenario. Despite their visit just last month, the parent has expressed that the gesture is not enough. This fosters feelings of resentment and anxiety regarding future interactions. Imagine Ruth, a 70-year-old widow living in Chicago. She often expressed her feelings to her daughter, saying, "You never call me," and lamented, "I haven't heard from you in ages," despite having spoken just the week before. Her daughter started to feel a heavy weight in her heart during their interactions, realizing that no matter how frequently she reached out, it would never be sufficient to escape the sting of those accusations. The turning point arrived when Ruth's friend gently encouraged her to document all her family interactions in a journal. Ruth was taken aback to realize that she was in touch with her daughter 2 to 3 times a week through calls, texts, and social media. The issue lay not in the frequency, but rather in Ruth's understanding and anticipations. Through her journey with a therapist, Ruth discovered the importance of recognizing each connection in a positive light, shifting her focus away from the gaps that once seemed so significant. She started to share her appreciation for particular moments of connection. Our conversation last Tuesday was truly enjoyable for me. Thank you so much for sharing those wonderful photos of the kids. Rather than pointing fingers, let's focus on how much I value our moments together. I've been experiencing some loneliness recently, and it would mean a lot to me to establish a regular time to connect that fits into your schedule. How could that be envisioned? This method allows you to share your emotions and requirements in a way that fosters understanding, free from blame or exaggeration. Recognizing that your adult children are managing their careers, raising their own children, and juggling various responsibilities can truly illuminate the dynamics of your relationship. By recognizing their efforts, instead of concentrating on what may seem lacking, you'll foster a much more positive and supportive environment. Harmful expression 5. You'll bear the burden of my absence when I'm no longer around. While it may appear that invoking your mortality could effectively capture attention, professionals caution that this approach may ultimately alienate your children. This phrase intertwines feelings of guilt, manipulation, and fear, fostering an environment that undermines trust and cultivates anxiety. Dr. Elizabeth Parker, a gerontologist and family counselor at the University of Michigan, shares that when elderly parents bring up their mortality as a form of pressure, they are inadvertently fostering a painful connection to the reality of their eventual passing. Instead of fostering deeper connections, these statements frequently lead to avoidance, as adult children seek to distance themselves from the emotional pressure they feel. Consider Gerald, a 78-year-old grandfather residing in Denver. Whenever his children couldn't attend a family gathering or disagreed with his advice, he would express, "One day, I won't be here, and you might find yourself wishing you had taken my words to heart. You'll wish you had cherished our moments together when I'm no longer here." His children started to withdraw from their interactions with him, feeling overwhelmed by the emotional pressure he was exerting. The dynamic shifted when Gerald's eldest son bravely approached him, sharing the profound impact of his words on the family. With the support of a professional, Gerald came to understand that his feelings of fear regarding being forgotten or feeling insignificant were valid, yet he was expressing them in a harmful manner. He discovered the importance of expressing his longing for connection openly instead of resorting to indirect threats. Rather than using your mortality as a weapon, consider how much these family moments truly mean to me. I look forward to the opportunity for us to share more meaningful moments together in the months ahead. This conveys your longing for a genuine bond, free from any sense of coercion or shame. It's important to recognize that meaningful relationships thrive on respect and understanding rather than being rooted in obligation or fear. Your children will cherish the moments spent with you, drawn by the joy of your presence rather than the fear of missing out on something important. The subtle threat of these expressions, what renders these 5 expressions especially perilous, is their widespread use and the seemingly harmless nature they project. Many elderly parents who rely on them may not fully understand the harm they might be inflicting. They truly feel that they are voicing valid concerns or simply engaging in conversation. Research in neuroscience from Harvard Medical School sheds light on the detrimental impact of these phrases. Dr. Yefor Jonathan Hayes shares that when individuals encounter accusatory or manipulative remarks from those they care about, their minds react with a stress response akin to facing a physical danger. As time goes on, this can lead to a pattern of avoidance, where the individual learns to distance themselves from what causes them stress. This sheds light on the reasons why numerous adult children tend to lessen their communication with parents who express themselves in these ways. They don't consciously choose to leave their parents behind. It's a common reaction that many people experience when faced with emotional challenges. It's encouraging to know that acknowledging these patterns is the crucial first step toward overcoming them. By intentionally substituting these harmful phrases with more nurturing alternatives, you can start to mend strained relationships right away. Transforming your communication style. Altering deeply ingrained communication habits can be quite challenging, particularly when they have turned into instinctive reactions. Consider this thoughtful 3-step approach suggested by family therapists. Begin by cultivating a profound understanding of yourself. Be mindful of the moments when you might find yourself using one of these harmful phrases. What feeling is motivating it? Do you find yourself experiencing feelings of loneliness, a lack of appreciation, or fear? Understanding the core need will enable you to communicate it more clearly and effectively. Next, take a moment to reflect before you respond. When you sense the impulse to express one of these phrases, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and thoughtfully select a more constructive option. It might seem uncomfortable at first, but with time and effort, it will start to feel effortless. Third, prioritize sharing your emotions and requirements openly. Rather than expressing, "You never come to see me," consider saying, "I've been feeling a bit lonely lately and would really appreciate spending more time together." This conveys the same fundamental worry in a way that avoids placing blame or making accusations. Consider Elaine, a 75-year-old grandmother from Boston, who changed the dynamics with her 3 adult children by removing certain phrases from her conversations. Following months of challenging exchanges, she made a heartfelt decision to transform her approach to communication. Initially, her children were doubtful, but as she persistently showcased new ways of connecting, the barriers between them slowly began to dissolve. Half a year later, Elaine's daughter surprised her by suggesting a weekend getaway, an idea that would have seemed unfeasible considering their previous interactions. Elaine pondered the situation, realizing that her children did indeed love her. They found it challenging to cope with the emotional weight of the way I expressed myself. We are fostering deeper connections and embracing progress together. Having recognized the phrases to steer clear of, let's turn our attention to uplifting communication methods that can enhance the connections within your family. Make it a habit to show gratitude often. Take a moment to recognize and appreciate the ways your children are present for you, instead of concentrating on what may be lacking. It's important to honor and acknowledge personal boundaries. It's important to understand that your adult children are navigating their own responsibilities and priorities that extend beyond your relationship with them. Express genuine curiosity about their experiences while respecting their need to focus on their priorities. Enhance the experience of every interaction. Become the parent your children feel comfortable confiding in, rather than the one they think they must report to. Encourage the sharing of uplifting stories. Inquire about their passions, and strive to keep discussions focused on positivity rather than dwelling on grievances. Provide assistance with understanding and compassion. Support your children by being there for them when they seek guidance or help, while also honoring their choices, even if they don't align with your suggestions. Establish new traditions that embrace and reflect the evolving journeys of each individual. Instead of clinging to every historical family tradition, let's come together to design gatherings that resonate with our present situation. By embracing these uplifting strategies and moving away from harmful expressions, you can foster a family environment rooted in respect and authentic connection, free from feelings of obligation or guilt. You've discovered the 5 harmful phrases that may be quietly undermining your relationship with your adult children, along with thoughtful alternatives to foster better communication. It's important to recognize that there is always an opportunity to transform the way we communicate and strengthen our relationships. In these later years, your connection with your children has the potential to deepen and become more significant, but it calls for intentional effort and a readiness to embrace change. If you've noticed any of these phrases in your communication, it's important to be gentle with yourself. Recognizing the need for change is the crucial first step on the journey to improvement. Begin your journey today by selecting one phrase to let go of and replacing it with a healthier alternative to embrace. Your children will sense the change, even if they don't express it right away. Have you noticed any of these phrases during your discussions with your adult children? I would be interested in knowing which of these phrases most surprised you in the comments. If you found this advice meaningful, we would greatly appreciate it if you could click the like button and subscribe to our channel for more valuable insights on nurturing family relationships during your golden years. Consider sharing this video with friends who could truly gain from this valuable information. It has the potential to preserve a cherished bond within the family.